VC here. Hi, guys and gals. Well, time for another Sunday morning vlog. Yeah. It's Sunday morning and it's nice and cool. Well, cool. It's 19 degrees Celsius. So what is that? Hey Siri, what is 19 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
The answer is 66.2 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay. So 66 degrees Fahrenheit. So 19 degrees. But that's really nice because we had like mid 30s. What is that? That's probably mid 90s in Fahrenheit. So it's warm. Actually, we're not too bad here. I know some places have had a lot more hot, and Mrs. DC, who's in Spain, said it was quite hot. Yeah, even though they're in the northern part of Spain, that's a lot more south than we are. Supposedly, it's a lot of hot air coming up from Africa. So it's interesting this year. Well, at least I've noticed it a bit more this year. We had a lot of sand that came up from the Sahara, like with the winds that pushed it up, and sometimes in the morning it would give like the beautiful, really beautiful sunrises, kind of like gold rust type color. Really nice. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, a lot of the climate alarmists, I'm saying it that way because, you know, if you look at the news and the media, look what's happening. Like, you know, when the war in Iraq or the war in Ukraine or you know, anything happens, that's all you could hear about for a certain period, and then it died down. Like, for example, in Ukraine, things are still going on. It's not even in the papers anymore, and there's probably more going on than there was before. But we've passed on to something else. Heat wave. Oh, it's the worst heat wave in the world has ever been. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. In 6 months' time, we'll be probably talking about something else. Anyway, a bit of vlogger's itch. You know, that's just the way the news is, isn't it? I mean, first off, people get bored after a while, and second is that every time you gotta have a new catastrophe. One thing though is certainly true, is everything's more expensive. There's absolutely no doubt about that, even over here. I was on YouTube the other day, and you know how it is when you click onto YouTube. There's you get, like, you know, suggested things to watch, and I was a little bit surprised. I say a little bit surprised, and not really, but there was superhero series. I should actually say a superheroine series from Indonesia that came up, and I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. I'd had something from the Philippines that came up. That could be because, you know, we made the comic book series on Super Tweetness. So the Philippine one is actually quite well known. It's like a Filipino Wonder Woman called Darna, and I've actually watched quite a few little shows, and it's really interesting in a way because it gives a peek into the society over there and how they see the superheroines and stuff like that, or superheroes and the villains. And it's, in a way, there's a mixture. You can see it's in an Asian country, so I'm not saying that it's manga-like, but there's certain things like the monsters and so on. But then I went and looked at there's this the Indonesian superheroine is called Sars, Sarss. Cyrus, Saras. SARS is COVID. Yeah, Cyrus 8, 008. Now that is a weird show. Albeit, now put it this way, the the heroine is I'd say she's probably a teenager in some school, and you get the impression everybody knows who she is. She doesn't have a real secret identity, and at the same time she does. There's aliens involved, there's midgets, there's a whole bunch of weird looking people mixed into completely normal society. And the thing though that really surprised me the most, and I don't know how much that corresponds to reality, is okay, so now there's very much into martial art fighting. I guess you could say this is a martial art thing. Everybody seems to fight, I don't know what type of fighting, but martial art type thing with the feet and everything, and they fly up and so on. If you've looked at kung fu movies, you know what I mean. But what really gets me is if you look at comic books or in Western society, I mean, we're always being told modesty and not how you treat women and this and that is bad and so on. But Superman or Batman of the 60s would not hit a woman. He would not go into even to a dressing room where there was a woman. If you remember some of those scenes, they had to have Batgirl do it or stuff like that. But in this one, I mean, they're duking it out. I mean, the men against the women and the heroine, and there is just like no, it is real equality. But what actually got me more is like, even at one point, like there were some kids that got mixed in, and they just were banging on, hitting the kids and so on. And I think like, wow, is society really that violent over there, or is it just like the show? I was actually surprised, and it was really very, very much like there was some of the people you could see there was some that were really well-to-do, and you could see where they were filming. There was like, it was a bit like really living on dung heaps. And then later on there was the sections where they went into the bush and people were living almost I was going to say in caves. So I don't know. I mean, it was a weird experience. I mean, it had nothing to do. It was from 1998, really, so quite a while back, but still nothing to do with anything that we would have like in 1998 for our comic book series. I think. Let me see now. When were the Superman, the Batman ones were the 60s. Wonder Woman was it the early 80s? The Wonder Woman series? And the Superman movies came on a little bit later. And now, of course, there's all the other ones, which I'm not watching, but the Marvel ones and all that. But I'm just saying that society, if you use these things as a picture into society, it's really quite interesting, especially when, like I say, I read up a little bit on that one because it's very difficult to find. It's Indonesian, and you find it on an Indonesian YouTube site. Actually, there's just a few things on YouTube, and I don't understand the language, of course, but it's so weird up to a point. Yeah. And it's a bit like one of these, I'm up to 9 minutes, a telenovela type. I ended up talking 9 minutes about that. I didn't want to talk 9 minutes about that. Oh. Sunday morning, I guess my brain is still just kind of like working around. Like I say, it was kind of a study into different societies. And what I wanted to bring about that actually, and I went and talked too long, people will say I always talk too long, is that in years from now, if they're still around, and if people still bother to watch any of our YouTube videos, and by the way, if you're still listening, bravo, is they'll say like, wow, these people were they weird? I wonder what do they think about us? Okay, 10 minutes. DC signing off. Take care. Have a good Sunday. Bye-bye.